Well, howdy. Welcome here to the Double M Farm Homestead. Thought I would do a quick review of the Harbor Freight Chipper Shredder. And just based on some other things I've seen on other reviews. And yes, I know this safety flap is missing. And this safety flap is missing. I bought this one secondhand. It was about 8 months old when I bought it. Guy had bought it, used it one time on a job, and decided he wanted a bigger one. And so I gave him less than half of what they are new. At the time of this recording, they are $5.99. So they used to be down closer to $300 or $400 now. In 2021, in Joe Biden's economy, they are $600. Obviously, come from from China. So there you go. But so I know those are missing, and I will probably replace them. I've had it a little while now, used it a few times, enough to get an idea of it. And I probably will replace those. I looked on the website, and they weren't shown as available at the moment, but they could possibly be available. They're listed as a replacement part, just not available at the moment. You'll also notice the leg that comes on it. It's a red U-shaped leg that bolts right there to make it sit straight. That was gone when I got it, and he had put a tongue on it so that he could tow it behind his lawnmower, which I thought was pretty neat. It's got a little hole right there so you can pin it. You can tow it behind a lawnmower or tractor, or I guess I could take the ball off and tow it behind Dumpy, the little mini truck. And but it wouldn't sit level, obviously. So what I did, I fabricated a leg out of some square tubing and a piece of angle iron, and just drilled some holes to pin it. And I've got two. The center bolt is the pin. The other two bolts, I put one on either side to keep the leg from swinging. It's trapped between the two bolts so it can't swing left or right, or swing, front to back and fall over. Plus, it has locks. So that's the things that are not stock about it. If you ever use one of these, please lock the wheels. It will move on you. There's a lot of vibration. Here on the back side, you see the clean out panel. But one of the main reasons I wanted to do a review is because based on 90% of the reviews I've seen, most people seem to think this blade, or blades, there's I think 4 of them, right here are the only blades. Those blades do all the work. Nothing could be further from the truth. This machine and many others like it, other brands, it's called a chipper slash shredder, easy for me to say, shredder, for a reason. It chips and it shreds, or mulches is another term for shredding. There are 2 separate blades, and I don't know if it'll show up on camera. It's pretty dark down in there. Probably won't. But when you put things in the hopper, small stuff, nothing to exceed a 1/2 inch in the hopper. Is that on camera? Yeah. Leaves, small branches under a 1/2 inch. They are cut by that blade that you access from that panel. When you put larger limbs up to 3 inches on this side, and I have put 3 inches in there and it cuts it with no problem. When you put them on this side, it's a totally different blade. It's a chipping blade, not a shredding, mulching blade. There's a separate wheel, all attached together, but there's a wheel with 2 blades. There's only 2 blades that do the work on this side. They're long, they're knife-shaped, very heavy, and you can access them. You can take the 3 bolts out to remove this chute here and see them. You can also remove these bolts all the way around and take this entire backside off so that you can get to both of them, the front side and the back side. So you have 2 different cutters. You have a chipping cutter, which is 2 blades, and then you have a shredding, mulching cutter on the back side. So that is one of the main things I wanted to point out that I just haven't seen, and it's just too dark to see it on camera, but you can see them right there. But that's one of the things I just wanted to point out that I hadn't seen on other videos about these chipper shredders. But as far as a review of it, man, I don't know if I'd want to pay the current price of $600, not because I don't think the machine's worth it, but because I don't know that I would use it enough for that. But when I ran across this one used at a third of the price, I went ahead and jumped on it. Because I do a lot, you can see there's a lot of thick woods there that I'm going to be cleaning up. So there'll be a lot of chipping and shredding to do. Plus, down at the pond site, I just built a pond. And down there, I'll be doing a lot of cutting and cleaning for the second phase of the pond build. And so why waste all that stuff that's arm size and smaller when I can chip it and use it as mulch in the garden and in the animal beds? So I figured it was worth the investment. It's one thing I'm going to try to do is find some flexible tubing that I can adapt. Maybe something like some dryer tubing or something. I'd like something maybe on a 4-inch flexible tubing. Make an adapter that I could put it on here so that I could park this thing behind Dumpy, since he's a dump body. When I've got a big project, if I could park him here and have that flexible tube going up in the back of Dumpy, that would be a lot easier than blowing the chips into a bucket and then dumping them in there. But then I could fill Dumpy up and take the chips anywhere I wanted to and dump them. So that's kind of my plans. And if I come up with that, I'll try to get on video of it operating that way. But I just haven't had time to get that done among all the other projects. So there you go. Just a quick overview. Well worth the money, in my opinion, as far as performance and the job it'll do if you need a chipper shredder. Again, I was fortunate to find this one at a used price. And as you can see, other than the fact that the leg is missing and the two safety guards, rubber, I could probably buy a piece of rubber and make my own. But the fact that those are missing and that leg is missing, other than that, it's a stock machine. And of course, if you're familiar with the Predator engines, you know how good they are. So I find it to be an excellent chipper shredder. Does a great job. So I wouldn't hesitate at all to recommend it to anyone that may be looking for something. Not an industrial size. You're not going to take it out and cut up, trees like that, but you will cut up trees like that and like that, and maybe not the light pole, but trees like that. You'll be able to chip those up with no problem. So I appreciate you visiting us here on the Double M Farm, and we'll talk to you again real soon.